Here now to talk more with us about this is Dan Gillian. He is a federal sexual harassment attorney, and he's also worked as a civil rights and employment attorney. And he worked with the Silence Breakers, Time Magazine's 2017 Person of the Year, who spoke out against sexual misconduct in politics, entertainment, and the media. So, Mr. Gillian, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
So the Associated Press and others have reported that Governor Cuomo is a possible contender for Attorney General under President Biden. We now know there are multiple women who have come forward. Should this signal the end of his political career, or do you think he's going to withstand this?
Yeah, I think that his career, I wouldn't say his career is over as a politician because, he's a governor, and whether or not he resigns is largely his decision. And I don't see him resigning over this. But I don't see him becoming the attorney general, certainly. It's just, a politician has to have some level of clout, and he has to be able to persuade and lead. And when something like this happens, that ability is gone. And really what happened here was the second victim coming forward. That was the final nail for him.
So yesterday, the governor said he selected former federal judge Barbara Jones to lead the investigation. Now he says he wants to avoid even the perception of a lack of independence or interference politically. But isn't it a no-brainer from the very beginning to have an independent investigation?
Well, not only is it a no-brainer, it's actually required by law. You have to have an independent investigation. It's the three requirements are prompt, thorough, and independent investigation. So I think what he's saying here is, hey, it might look a little fishy, and therefore we're gonna go ahead and hire an outside law firm. Now, keep in mind though, sometimes when they hire outside law firms, what they're really doing is they're basically buying an attorney-client privilege, so they don't have to release the reports. That's kind of a game that gets played a lot in these sort of investigations.
Interesting point. The credibility, as we know, of these accusers is going to be in the spotlight. For example, Lindsey Boylan, his former aide, made the allegations in December, and then now it's come out that that was at the same time that personnel records surfaced indicating that she had resigned after she was confronted about allegedly harassing several female employees. What will this investigation look like, and what is it like for the accusers who go through this process?
Well, first of all, Governor Cuomo has been talking about what he intended, and the bottom line is intent of the harasser is irrelevant. So it's really the perception of the victim. That's what matters. But the investigation is going to, the first step is to interview the claimants, and then they start interviewing the witnesses. They'll interview the governor, and they'll compare and contrast and so forth. But again, because that attorney, that law firm is actually representing the state of New York, they're going to keep those results hidden by the attorney-client privilege. They're probably going to come out and say that this was a violation of the policy regarding sexual harassment, but they're not going to conclude that it was a violation of law. The most difficult part about this case is that sexual harassment has to be severe or pervasive. And I just don't think, based upon what I've heard, that this would rise to a level of severe. Now, we don't know we don't know the context. If this was a kiss on the lips, and that's what one of these was, a kiss on the lips. If it was a peck and it was done as a joke or whatever, probably would not be severe. If it was a French kiss with tongue involved, that would be severe sort of sexual harassment. And by the way, the state of New York is automatically on the hook for whatever sexual harassment whatever they conclude sexual harassment occurred, because Governor Cuomo is in such a high position that is strict liability against the state. So there could be a lot of money actually going to be spent by the taxpayers here just to defend this thing, and then potentially settle it with them if they're actually pursuing claims. I just don't know that yet.
And you talked a little bit about it, but what does something like this look like in terms of the scope when the investigation begins? Who do they talk to? How long does it take typically?
Yeah, investigations are always very, very important to look at, especially when they're being conducted by a law firm that represents the state. I use the phrase "garbage in, garbage out." Oftentimes, the investigator knows who's paying their bills, and they might not conduct a thorough investigation, and therefore not find out everything. This particular case, I'm sure that they're going to, uncover everything they can possibly find. It's going to be talking to witnesses. It's going to be looking at his text messages, looking at his emails, and talking to him. And oftentimes, what investigators will do is they will take Governor Cuomo's statement, for example, go find out other information, and then come back to him and ask him questions that he doesn't know that they know the answer, because those become problematic whenever you get anybody, but especially the harasser, lying to the investigators. That could be a big problem. Now, again, it wouldn't be illegal. For him to lie, but if we find out in this process that he told a little fib, that could really spell some big trouble for him politically.
All right. Well, it will be interesting to see what happens with this investigation. Mr. Gillian, thank you for joining us tonight on News Nation.
All right. Thank you.